Okay, y'all, part 3. I don't know if I'm gonna run out of space on my phone, but I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna delete some old videos and make some more room and stuff like that. But this will be the last and final part 3. Cause yeah, that's what happens when you don't do videos like you're supposed to. You gotta try to play catch up. And I said I was gonna come back, and this is what y'all get. Cause I decided to come back and be obedient. But anyhow, so back to what I was saying. So anyway, y'all, I was talking about my hospital stay and how I was in the hospital and had an encounter with God, and how I have a low tolerance for pain, and I'm not used to being uncomfortable. I'm used to doing everything in my power to be comfortable. This, that, and the third. I have a low tolerance for pain. That was the last thing I talked about in part 2 of the video. So I just want to just cut you up and bring you kind of back into what I was saying from the previous video. And so, yeah, so like I said, I had an encounter with God, and what happened was the nurse came in, or I think it was the team of people that comes in for physical therapy or something. And, in my head, I was like, I hope they don't think that I'm going to get up out of this bed and do nothing. Because it's going to hurt. And no. Like, I was just like, oh my God. Like, I just wasn't happy. I was just like so irritated, and because they come in, well, did you walk today? Did you get out of the chair? I mean, did you get in the chair? Did you get out of the bed? Did you pee? Did you this? And I'm just like, girl, if my eyes could have rolled any harder, they'd have been on the floor. I was just like, can you leave? That's what you can do for me. You could exit this room. And then I was mad too, because I'm just like, I didn't get any sleep that night because everybody keeps coming in the room, poking and prodding, drawing blood, and as soon as I do fall off to sleep, they just pop. It'd be pitch black, and they just pop on all the lights in the room, and I'm just looking like, I mean, I know we're not at the Carlton Hotel or whatever you call it, the Ritz Hotel. I know we not, but I'm just like, could you use a dimmer light? Could you flick on one bright light at a time? Do you got to cut on all the lights? Will my eyes feel like it's going to roll in the back of my head? I'm like, ma'am, be a little bit more courteous. And that made me kind of frustrated sometimes all the time when they did that. Or just the sound of their voices when they come in the room. Hi, you Mrs. So-and-so. Hi, we're such and such from so-and-so. And I'm just like, and who cares? Y'all, now this is, because at this point, I'm in the hospital almost 2 weeks. And I'm mad because the food is nasty. I'm hungry. They don't believe that I'm pregnant. And you pregnant, you get hungry at night. At 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, your stomach is growling. They stop feeding you at like 7 or something like that and expect you to go from 7 to the next morning with no food. Where they do that at? Where? So me, I got a strategy for that. First of all, every nurse when they did the new shift, when the nurses came in on the new shift, I'm like, can you give me some graham crackers? Can you get me some pudding, or not pudding? Can you get me some what did I ask for? Fruit, like the fruit cups. And I had that stuff. I stored all them snacks up, so that when I'm up 11 o'clock at night, 12 o'clock staring at the wall or flipping through the channels on the few channels that they do give you, I'm just like, if it wasn't for this, I don't know what, I would have to just pull everything out of my arm and walk out or roll out or something, because I'm just like, this little bit of food, and then half the stuff I didn't eat because it was nasty. So I'm just like, and then all the snacks I brought to the hospital because I knew they was going to keep me. So I had a bag of snacks. Your girl brings the snacks, okay? Your girl brings the backpack, and I fill it with snacks. And everybody, I know when my husband used to wait for me to get ready to go to the hospital, he used to get irritated because I'm just like, I got to pack my bag. And I know he probably didn't understand why, but I didn't really feel like I need to explain myself because I knew why I had to pack my bag. Honey, I had M&Ms, I had water, because they limited my water. Yeah, I'm sorry, my lips dry. They limited my water because I could only have a little bit of water because I had all that fluid that they had to drain off. And then when they drained off the fluid, it would make me dehydrated. So they only gave me like these little cups. And then sometimes they would just give me ice. Now, I love ice. Before, when I first started doing YouTube, I actually used to have an ice channel where I was just actually used to have an ASMR ice channel where I would just chew ice. I've always been addicted to ice. But that changed because it started messing with my pulmonary and my lungs and my throat and my teeth. We ain't gonna talk about how bad my teeth are from ice chewing, but anyway, that's another video for another time. I'm gonna get back to the point, y'all. I ain't forget the point. I ain't forget it, I promise. I'm gonna tell you about what God told me about my encounter. But I just thought that this was kind of funny because I was just kind of remembering and jogged my memory about how I was feeling in that moment when everybody started coming in my room. But anyway, they would only give me like ice chips or whatever like that. So like I said, had a strategy every time they switch shifts or somebody new came in and whatever. I'm like, oh, nice to meet you. Can you do me a favor? Can you just bring me a couple of cups of ice? Well, they eventually caught on to that. Why did they put a note up talking about this patient has a limit water intake and don't get this patient water or something like that? I said, ain't this the devil? I said, that ain't nothing but the devil. That's the devil. Girl, I said, wait a minute. So, you know me. When it was time for them to give me my pills, to take my pills, I said, well, I need more water than this to take these pills because these pills are big and hard to swallow, and I can't take them with this little bit of water you're giving me. I found a way to get my water, okay? I drank like 2 cups of water to take my pills, and I really did need it, though. It wasn't a lie. Because one pill was like a horse pill, and I had to break that joker in half. I'm like, y'all ain't going to see me no more if I take this. You're not going to see me again. Who going to take this? So y'all trying to take me out of here. That's what you're really trying to do. You trying to take me out of here. And then, see, they didn't really like me either. Because I advocated for myself. I was borderline diabetic, or just over the number of having diabetes. My numbers was high, but barely. That was like right at the threshold of the number being where they can consider me a diabetic, right? So when the nurse was giving me my medicine, she's like, oh, this is the blood thinner. This is going to go in your stomach. And this is the pill for your blood pressure. And this is this. And then she had another syringe and was like, and this is for insulin for something. So I said, wait. Insulin? What you giving me insulin for? I'm not diabetic. And she was like, oh, well, the doctor prescribed it. I'm looking at the computer. And I said, well, I'm not taking that. I'm not a diabetic. And I said, if I was diabetic, why would you give me insulin instead of a pill? You can take a pill first before you start taking insulin. And I'm just like, these doctors, y'all, I'm telling you, they trash. I'm going to say it just like that. You are a number. These doctors don't have no compassion. I'm not saying they're all like that, but I'm telling you, the way that this world is so wicked, they don't have no compassion. They just trying to get these medicines into people. And just think if I would have let them give me insulin the whole time I was in the hospital. Would I have to become dependent on that? They would have prescribed me insulin to start putting me on insulin. And I don't even need to be on insulin. I can self-regulate. If you change your diet or whatever like that, the numbers go down. So if the numbers are low, then you're not considered diabetic. So why would you want to give me insulin? And then the reason why I stayed sick as long as I did is because one of the blood pressures that I was taking was the major cause of me having fluid retention as bad as I did. I did, to the point where I was about almost died. That's how bad the fluid was. They drained over 50 pounds of fluid off of my legs and my lungs. And the doctors that, when I got in the hospital, they were still prescribing me the same blood pressure medicine. Until one day I prayed and I asked God, Lord, please give me a solution. Please send a doctor in here that knows what they're talking about, that's compassionate, and that will do the right thing. And one day this foreign doctor came in, and because there's so many doctors that come in that's on different shifts and they don't talk to one another. They don't read each other's notes. They don't talk to one another. They come in, ask you a few questions, check your heart and all of that stuff, and then they go on about their business. But anyway, this one doctor came in. He said, I'm going to pull you off of this blood pressure medicine because this blood pressure medicine is known to cause fluid. And I'm going to take you off of it. And ever since I got off that medicine, I still have fluid and I still take fluid pills, but I've not been in the hospital since they took me off of that blood pressure medicine. And my fluid retention has not built up like it was when they took me off of that medicine. And I'm like, you got cardiologists and you got all of these specialists coming in checking on me, and you mean to tell me they took them over a year? Because I was in and out of the hospital for 2 years with the fluid. For you to not recognize that one pill I was taking was the cause? Really? And y'all, I know we got a plethora of race and cultures and stuff on my channel, and I'm not playing the race card or anything like that, because I know that we all go through being mistreated when it comes to the medical field. But I'm telling you, as a black woman and dealing with certain ethnicities in that hospital, if you have got to protect yourself, because they don't care. If you got family that you can talk to, that can come up to the hospital with you to make sure they're doing the right thing, have somebody check on you daily. Even if you got to do a video call. If they can't physically get there, when the doctors come in, get them on the phone. Have somebody in your family, a friend, somebody that cares about you, to be there by your side when you're in the hospital. Because if you're in the hospital and they know that nobody's coming to see you, check on you, nobody's inquiring about your care, they're going to do whatever they want to do. Because they don't have no threats. They don't have nobody to prove themselves to. I'm trying to tell you, don't do it alone if you can help it. Because I'm telling you, I've seen it, and if you don't have a voice like me that's going to speak up and you're going to challenge them, they're going to do what they want to do. They want to do, because this one nurse, I don't know what was going on with her, but I had to check her too. And I was just like, look, I don't know what I did to you or what your problem is, but from the first moment I came in this room, you had a problem with me and we haven't even exchanged words yet. If you got a problem with helping me, send somebody else in here, because I'm not going to tolerate you being rude to me. You know, and then when you reject the medicine that the doctors want you to take, the nurses get upset. Okay, well, I'll just let the doctor. Well, then let the doctor know, because what you mad for? You're not laying on the bed. You're not the one that's got to take the insulin. I do. And then there's one other nurse I checked, because she was kind of being like rough and all this stuff when I was getting my shot in my stomach. And so I guess she got mad because I ruffled her feathers, and so she just jammed the needle in my stomach, and blood started coming out. Y'all. I tell you what, she never came back in my room after that. She never came back because it was a lot that happened. I can't tell y'all all my hospital chronicles because I'm way off base now. Because there was a lot of stuff that happened. And when I tell you, it seemed like the whole system is corrupted. I'm talking about people that do x-rays, people that do ultrasound, they talk, y'all. They got codes. They put things in the system to let one another know what to do and what not to do. They all are in cahoots. I have not seen one inconsistent characteristic in any of them when it comes to the type of situation I was going through with letting them know about my pregnancy and all that. They only hone in on the things that they can, that they believe that will keep me in the hospital. They want to do stuff to get the fluid off, to get my blood pressure down, and send me home. They didn't care about nothing else. Go see your gynecologist or go see a specialist about your babies. Period. They've heard multiple heartbeats. When they check my heartbeat, they heard multiple. But you can see, I saw them pause, and I was like, I said to myself, I said, oh, they must hear the baby's heartbeat. Because when I tell you they stayed down there long, the check, they was here. I was like, here we go. But after a while, I just stopped talking because I'm just like, it's useless at that point because, yeah. And I believe maybe there's a reason that they turn a blind eye to it. Maybe they're supposed to. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise. I don't know. But anyway, back to my point about the encounter. So anyway, sorry about that little change, y'all. But it just, y'all can see that did something to me, right? So the encounter was, so the people came in. I was like, hi, Miss Robinson. We're just coming to see if you did this and if you can walk 4 steps and blah, 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 blah. So I was like, okay. And I was trying to think of every excuse in my head not to get off that bed, y'all. Because it was so difficult to move. And so in that moment, I don't know when this thought came to me. I don't know if I sent them away and then they came back. I don't know what happened, but anyway, the encounter was God had told me, and this is plain as you hearing me. This is how I heard it. And he said, you have to learn how to do hard things. He's like, you have to do the difficult things. He said, everything can be easy for you. And that's what he's like, everything can't be easy for you. You have to be okay with doing difficult things. How are you going to be better if you don't like doing difficult things? And then he just began to just make me think about the conversations that I had with the other nurses or other CNN. What are they? Not see. I'm thinking about the news. The CNAs. I think that's what they call. When they would come in to like change me and stuff. Now, I mean, like I said, I just felt like I just had to have everybody just do their job right. Like, you're not going to just halfway do your job with me. If you're supposed to clean my tail, you can clean my tail right. Period. That's just what it is. So, anywho. So, anyways, when I had the encounter with God, I don't know. I had to have had the encounter with God before I had to get up and do physical therapy and all of the other stuff that they wanted me to do. Because otherwise, I probably would have not done it. So I think I had ended up turning somebody away beforehand, and then I had the encounter, and then when the other people came, I cooperated because of the encounter that I had. I think that's kind of how it played out, but I'm not sure. But anyway, God said, you got to learn how to do hard things. And he was just like, in life, everything can't be easy. You have to endure the pain, and he was basically saying, get over it, stop being a big baby, stop, whining about everything and deal with it. That's pretty much what he was saying, but God he's such a gracious and merciful God. Of course he didn't say it like that, but that's, yeah. So I was like, okay. Okay, and then he was ministering to me about some other stuff too, and I had to go back into to apologize to a couple of people that I wasn't so kind to, and because you know how you can feel kind of like privileged or just kind of just think that you're supposed. I mean, you should get top notch care, you know, but it's just got just because they have a job to do, they can still be having a bad day too, or something could be going on with them, but they still have to perform, you know. And so God has just dealt with my heart and just about just being more, you know, empathetic and being more in His character, even if I felt like what they were doing wasn't right. It's how I handled it, and that's when the Lord began to show me, like, no, you can't be that way. You can't. You're a poor testament of who you say you serve. And so I had to go back and I had to apologize and make that wrong right, and I did. And I felt so like a weight lifted off of me, because you can't say you represent God and then you in there acting like a heathen because they ain't doing something the right way, you know. And even though it's wrong and they should do their job, you know, sometimes people just don't do what they're supposed to do, and you can't be going off on everybody. And that's just kind of what I took away from what the Lord was dealing with me on. So, anyway, I got less than 10 minutes to tell this part, and this was the one of the things that was heavy on my heart to talk about when I did another video, because I one thing the Lord has been dealing with me on too is doing hard things. So I had said to myself, I challenged myself and I said, I'm going to really work on doing hard things. And when I say hard things, like y'all, when I tell you sometimes if I drop something on the floor, it's so hard for me to bend over and pick it up because the babies are everywhere, like they're in my side. You know, the way that they're implanted inside of me, I'm limited to movement in certain things. I always kind of have to sit down. When I stand, I'm in a lot of back pain. I can't stand long because the babies are really, really heavy. I don't know how they're implanted inside of me exactly. I know where they are because I feel them kicking and moving, but like I don't know what's happening inside of me. All I know is all God. It's a miracle holding my babies together, that my babies are still moving and breathing. I see their heartbeats at the top of my shirt. I got videos where you can actually see them, the heartbeats just going crazy. And so instead of me, because I found myself like moving less and less because I didn't want to feel the pain, and I didn't want to feel, because y'all, when I get out of the bed or if I stand up or if I move, y'all, I feel like literally like no shade, but my 600-pound life, you know how big they are and how hard it is for them to get around and move, and they feel way down. That's how I feel when I move, especially when I have like a lot of fluid, because the fluid is mostly in my legs, and then the babies are heavy too. So it's just like those two combined. It's like moving a mountain, like a ton of bricks. And so even getting up to pee, going down steps, and then if I got a lot of fluid, that means it's hard for me to breathe. And so it's just a lot. So I just found myself not even going out to go to the grocery store and doing things that I would do, at least the very least thing that I would do. I don't even really do that because it's like it's too hard. It's too hard. It's too hard. So I'm like, you know what? I can't do this. I got to do the hard things too, no matter how hard that. Because in my mind, I'm a real strong-willed person, and when I feel like I'm losing control, or you know, it's just something that's getting out of control, I got to fix it. Because I'm like, yeah, it's hard, but I can't. I'm not the kind of person to just sit around and do nothing. Like I got to keep moving. My wheel's spinning. My mentality is I gotta grow in my thinking. I gotta grow in my life. I gotta grow in my, I'm just not a stagnant person to just sit back and let life pass me by or let life defeat me. I just can't do it. So I said, hey, I'm going to start practicing doing hard things. I'm going to do one or two hard things a day. Hard things, when even putting a load of clothes in the washing machine. As hard as it is for me to do that, yes, it's that hard. And my washing machine is literally 5 or 6 feet away from my bed. But to bend over and lift clothes and to stand and set the washing machine, pour the laundry detergent in, the standing part is the hard part. Because my back literally burns. It burns. And I'm just always, I just feel heavy. And it's just like, when I sit down, it's like I'm panting. I got to catch my breath. It's just like, okay, why is it this hard to even just wash clothes? You know, I gotta cook. Thank God my bathroom is big enough for me to cook. I got a refrigerator, a microwave. I got everything that I need right in my room because I can't take the steps up and down. Some days I can, some days I can't. But there have been hard days where I really didn't feel like it, and it took me a while to get back up the steps, but I did it anyway. I pushed myself because I'm not going to be defeated. So if this is any kind of encouragement to you, try to find one hard thing to do and do it. Just to push yourself, just to defeat the I can't mentality. And that's what I've learned to do. And not even just in physical things, even in my spiritual life. You know, one of my prayers has always been making sure that I stay on top of studying my Bible, you know, or not being, I'm always on social media, but how do I stay up and watch that? But then I struggle reading my Bible. Well, that's a challenge to me. I got to figure something out to fix that. You know, so that's another hard thing that I'm working on. It's hard for me to sweep the floor, but I don't like to see dust and hair and all of that stuff on my floor, you know. And so at one point, I couldn't even sweep my floor. I had to have somebody come in and clean my bathroom. But now I'm able to do it. So I keep all of the little, because I keep Lysol and wipes and all that in all of my bathrooms anyway. So when I use the bathroom or whatever, you know, if I have an accident or something like that, I can just disinfect and wipe everything down myself. And I don't care how hard that is. Every time I get up, I know this is TMI. Every time I get up from the toilet, I spray the toilet down and wipe it down because, yeah, I just feel better because I'm always peeing because I take fluid pills. So I don't want to sit down on the toilet and the toilet is not clean. And then what if somebody else got to use the bathroom? You know, that's just my mentality. I just don't like nasty stuff. And then my floors and stuff get dusty because I got hardwood floors, so it's always like a lot of dust. And then I had to remove my bathroom rugs up off the floor because they would get so dusty. And so now I just have just my bare floors because I figure it would be easier for me to be able to sweep and spray down my floors when they need to be not just swept but clean too. And I found a way to do that. So a couple of times a week, I'll sweep my floor just to make sure that because I eat, and you know how you drop a crumb on the floor, or if I do my hair or something, I dread. So sometimes my hair will just shed a little bit or whatever like that. So I don't want none of that stuff on the floor. But I'm gonna tell you something, y'all. One of the hardest things to do is for me to bend over. So once I sweep the floor, of course I got to bend over with the dustpan and try to get the trash up. And y'all, I'm telling you, when I bend over, I'm like, like literally. And when I get up, my eyes are bloodshot red because of the pressure from like the babies and stuff like that. It's so hard, but guess what? I do it. Because one, I don't like no mess. Two, I'm not gonna be defeated. No, ma'am. And then I noticed because of the pregnancy, it changed the hormones in my body with my hair and my face. I've never had dry, flaky skin on my face. But I noticed that it started like on my hairline. But I looked it up, and it is some type of like, I forgot what you call it. It's some long name, but you get like dry spots like in the crevices of your nose on the side. I get them like on my eyelids up here behind my ears, and now like I got this little breakout right here. I've never had problems with acne or bumps on my face ever, but that's all because of the dry skin in my scalp and the pregnancy and all that stuff. So I was like, I never really had to do a whole lot to take care of my skin and all of that. Wash my face, moisturize my face in certain areas or whatever, and I'm good. I never had problems with my skin. But now I notice because of my high blood pressure, and the fluid and stuff that I was going through, the fluid really expanded my skin. But then when the fluid went away, of course my skin went back down, but it left a lot of lines and stuff under my eyes. So I'm like, I'm noticing that my face is kind of looking kind of more like like it needs care. Like I need to care for my skin and my face or whatever like that. And so, like I said, I never had to do that before. So recently, I was like, you know what? I gotta take care of my skin. I gotta take care of my face because I'm not gonna always be pregnant. My babies are gonna come, you know. And I'm like, I love me. I've always, like I said, I love fashion. I love makeup. I do makeup, all that, you know. And I've always been like that. But a lot of things, like I said, have changed. But that doesn't mean that I need to stop taking care of myself. And you know, of course, I have PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. So you know, they get the facial hair and all of that. So you know, I got these blemishes from getting the hair off my face, and that's fine. I've always had that. But I remember there was a time where I would not go out the house without putting makeup on. Now, but that's even before I got pregnant that changed. Because I've always loved myself. I've always been confident and loved the skin that I'm in or whatever. But my point is, I don't have to just look at these blemishes. I can do something about it. You know, I could just start a skincare routine and take care of my skin. And I don't have to not do it because, oh, I'm pregnant. Oh, I'm tired. Well, you know, da da da. So I'm like, you know what? I always do stuff for other people. I'm going to do something for myself. So when y'all see me again in another couple of months, your girl probably going to be looking like, I don't know. I got to think of somebody. But hopefully these little pimples will be gone. But I'm just going to do the things that I've always enjoyed doing. I've always been into stuff like that. But I just never thought, it just didn't click. Hey, do it for yourself. Because if it was somebody else and you noticed it, you would have bought a whole line of products and sent it to that person for them to do it. I'm like, well, you know what? I think I am going to do this. You know, and just get back to some normal things, you know. And like I said, my biggest challenge is, like I said, but I need to stand for a long time. It's like other things I want to do. Like right now, I still got to get my niece, when she comes over, she'll change my linen on my bed for me. I'm not able to do that yet, only because there's so much bending and standing. I don't have the stamina to do that much yet. But when she come over here, guess who's going to help her? Because usually I'll just sit back and let her do it. She don't want me to do it no way, because she, you know, she loved me and she's like, Auntie, I got it. Just sit back. But I'm like, nope, I'm going to help her do my linen change the next time. So stuff like that. So I just wanted to encourage y'all to do the hard things. Find something difficult to do without hurting or injuring yourself. Don't push to the point where you're going to injure yourself or nobody's around and they can't help you if you have an accident. But just push yourself even when you think you can't do it. But just, you know what? I'm not saying push yourself to a fault, but just do the things that normally you just don't have the energy to do. It could just be baking some cookies because you don't want to go down the steps, or you don't want to have to do this, that, or the third, or whatever the case may be. So that's kind of like what I wanted to share with y'all. Where I am is I'm just practicing doing hard things, doing difficult things for myself that I normally would just stay away from because I didn't want to feel uncomfortable. And so I love the summertime. That's my favorite time of the year. Of course, when it stays lighter longer and it's warm outside. I love the sun. I love going to the pool and all of that stuff. So this is a season where I really kind of get out of the house more than I do during the winter months. Even when I was able, I didn't really go out a whole lot during the winter months when it gets dark faster and it's cold. I don't like the cold. So I just use that time to really just, you know, do me, getting some stuff done, you know, in my home, and yeah, you know. So that is it, y'all. We over 30 minutes. I didn't want to go too far past 30 minutes. I really hope that you all have been enjoying the videos. So you got 3 videos coming, y'all, part 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to put all of this information in the description in the first video to let y'all know that there's 3 parts to this video, that I've already recorded it, and I will send them out. I'm not going to send them out all at once because, yeah, I'm going to do them. I'll send one, and then a couple of days I'll send part two. And then hopefully by that time I'll have videos in the queue ready to go. So I love you guys. Thank y'all for your time. Thank y'all for bearing with me. Thank y'all for listening to me. Comment below anything you want to share, anything you want to say. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Share this video. Y'all can hit that notification bell so that you all can be notified when new videos have been uploaded so that you do not miss a video. Okay, so y'all can come spend time with your girl. I love my CP Warriors. Y'all rock. Y'all are my ride or die. Should I say ride or die? Because I don't want y'all to die. Y'all my ride or stay. I don't know. Y'all my ride. I don't know. Y'all be riding with me. All right, y'all. Love y'all. Peace.